on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked?
I do think that works, Andrea Catania, and lucky me, everybody's face is not blurry anymore. I found my computer glasses and you all look much crisper and clearer now. So let's get this show started. Shall we, Andrea?
Yes, let's do the things, Bella.
Okay, so first, coming from New York, with 30 plus years advising the wealthy, protecting your empire like it's family heirloom silver. Founder of an estate advisory firm where your estate planning meets elite level strategy, a financial vault, smart, silent, and always working for your future. Let's welcome to the show, Paul Reback.
Would you like me to say a few words, or do you want to ask me some questions?
So I want you to share a fun fact, Paul. Now this you are kicking us off. So if you kick us off in a story, then everybody's going to follow your lead and you're going to get banned for life from the Heart of Influence. It's going to be like, that guy told a story and made everybody else tell a story. So we're going to give a headline fun fact, Paul. So then we can ask you some questions. So Paul, what
sounds good?
Your headline fun fact.
I'm going to give you a double.
Okay.
Yes. The fun fact is, despite the fact that I'm in the financial world, I spent a lifetime playing the drums in high energy rock and roll bands.
Oh.
That's the fun fact. The proud moment is a client of mine was approached with somebody who said, give me 200,000, I'll give you back $500,000 in a month. They got him up to giving 2.5 million and then left town. I got him all his money back. How is another story?
Oh, that's a story we will definitely have to save for another day, because I know. But Paul, that was such a great demonstration of like piquing curiosity and leaving people there, because now everybody after the show is going to want to reach out to you and know how you did that. So masterfully done. And Paul, any bands that we would know that you played in?
Well, one of the people I played with was a famous guitar player by the name of Johnny Winter.
Johnny Winter. Well, I'm not so cool to know who Johnny Winter is, but maybe somebody else here knows who Johnny Winter is. And Paul, are you ready to have some fun?
I am beyond ready. Can't you tell?
Paul is beyond ready to have some fun, because you know what, Paul? Plato said, play a game with me for an hour, and we will learn more about each other than if we spoke for a year. So we are going to have some fun today. Are you ready? He's more than ready.
I'm in.
Let's go. Next up, coming from Morristown, New Jersey, esteemed estate, tax, and corporate attorney helping families and entrepreneurs protect assets, plan with confidence, nationally recognized speaker and author on elder law, business planning, and legacy creation, a fierce advocate with deep technical knowledge, known for turning complexity into clarity and calm. Let's welcome to the show, Deidre Whitley.
Thank you, Bella.
And Deidre, have you been on the Heart of Influence before?
I have. I am a repeat guest, so clearly I didn't tell too long of a story last time.
You didn't, and I don't remember like names that often because we have had over 8,000 guests since I've been co-host, but like Whitley Liss is like a mouthful for a dyslexic that I gotta like really. So I was like, I remember that one.
And Bella, we're actually co-exec producing this show because as more people are introduced, you're going to see that Deidre has brought along 3 esteemed guests from her fabulous firm. Back over to you, Deidre.
That is fantastic. So Deidre, so I guess this has got to be a fun fact that your coworkers would approve of, something maybe G-rated. We don't want anything anybody can blackmail you with later. So Deidre, what is your fun fact?
So Bella, I find an opportunity to read over 100 books every single year.
Wow. That is impressive. I am completely jealous because it takes me months just to get through one book because of my slow reading. 100 in a year is impressive. And so what is your top book so far this year?
So far this year, it is the book series Dungeon Crawler Carl. Just trust me on it. Find it. Listen to the audible of it. It's actually better than the book. It's amazing.
Oh, so Dungeon Crawlers. Wait till I tell Sean what we spoke about today. Dungeon Crawlers all around. And Deidre, are you ready to have some fun?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. Next up with this group coming from, Paterson, New Jersey, business relationship manager for NJ Business and Industry Association, aligning organizational vision and driving collaborative success. An advocate for under-resourced youth committed to empowering disadvantaged youth, adventure-based learning programs, a community-centric leader fueled by passion, reflecting integrity and authenticity in all endeavors. Let's welcome to the show, Randy Stevens. Hello, Randy, to the Heart of Influence. And Randy, what is your fun fact?
I'm a championship coach, 8-year-old soccer, rec league down here in Burlington County, and I take that very, very seriously.
That is amazing. And if Sean were here, like he'd be talking to all the sports and all the mascots for the team that you just said, but I have no idea what town you're even talking about or but what's the sport? Maybe I'll know the sport.
It's soccer. It's 8-year-old rec. No one probably, if you don't live in this township, you may not know, or maybe the county, you may not know. But again, we take it very, very seriously. So I'm very, very proud of that.
Randy takes his championship soccer very seriously with those 8-year-olds. You're not messing around. I'm hearing you loud and clear, Randy. And Randy, are you ready for a championship show today?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Happy to be here. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, Randy. Randy is a champion. Next up from Morristown, New Jersey, counsel at a major law firm, primary areas of practice in tax planning and controversy, transactional business matters, wills, trusts, and estate planning, extensive expertise advising clients, acquiring and distributing assets, negotiating with tax authorities, and handling IRS appeals, significant expertise in counseling on business formation, mergers and acquisitions, restructuring, governance, and dissolution. Yes, you know what I'm saying. Thank you. Thank you. Let's welcome to the show, Jan McCaskey. Did
Well, thank you. That was quite an introduction. I didn't realize there was that much going on in my bio.
That is impressive for sure, Dan. And Dan, what is your fun fact?
All right. So at the age of 7, my sister and I went on one of the last breakfast cruises held by Walt Disney World because Donald Duck got into a fight with a waiter. It was a real fight right in front of our table. Water was thrown everywhere, pitchers of orange juice everywhere, and then that cruise stopped happening.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what started the fight with Donald Duck?
I was entirely too young to think to ask that question, but I think that was a woman in the Donald Duck outfit, and it was a man who was the waiter. So I'm just gonna guess at what it
So
was.
we're just gonna leave it there. Yeah. I had a feeling that there probably had to be a woman in the Donald Duck outfit.
Yeah, it was a good fight though.
Yeah, being a woman, I could see that, Dan. That is a super fun fact. And are you ready to have some fun?
I can't wait.
All right, let's go. Great Disney story. Let's go over to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Fuses art and emotion. Huh?
I'm in California.
Oh, you're in California. Okay, but so where in California are you, Juliana?
Cardiff by the Sea.
Cardiff by the Sea, California fuses art and emotion to ignite personal transformation and collective understanding. Pioneered a journaling technique that serves as a compass for self-discovery, recognized by leading institutions and foundations for her impactful contributions to art and society. Let's welcome to the show, Juliana Coles. Juliana, welcome to the Heart of Influence. And Juliana, what is your fun fact?
My fun fact was I always wanted to play sports growing up with the guys, and I was the home run champion of my league. It was a heavy hit.
Home running champion. We got some champions in the house. And how many home runs, Juliana?
Oh, I can't remember.
Probably
about 40.
40 home runs. That is impressive, Juliana. Hopefully you'll hit a home run here today. And are you ready to have some fun?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Coming from Morristown, New Jersey, specializes in commercial real estate, corporate governance, and business counseling across the U.S. Combines legal expert with deep understanding of clients' needs to craft tailored solutions. Recognized as one of New Jersey's Journal's Woman Attorney of the Year in 2024 for outstanding contributions to the legal field. Let's welcome to the show, Carmen Andretti.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Carmen. Welcome to the Heart of Influence. And Carmen, what is your fun fact?
Well, I am a Francophile. I was a French major in college, studied in France extensively, and I am such a crazy French person that I rented an apartment in Paris around the corner of a nightclub where my favorite 1920s cabaret singer would frequent. And every Saturday night, during my summer abroad, I would be there dancing to one of her tunes until the nightclub closed. So that's my fun fact.
That is a super fun fact. Carmen is a partier, loves the French. I wish I could speak some French. The only thing I really know about French is I like French fries. But no, I have been to France a couple times and love it, which I know they're not France. But Carmen, are you ready to have some fun?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Next up, coming from Morristown, New Jersey, principal at a 250-member law firm specializing in employment law and litigation defense, honored as one of New Jersey's Law Journal Women Lawyers of the Year in 2022. Women power all over the place here today. Provides strategic counsel to public and private sectors, clients on employment matters. Let's welcome to the show, Carrie Wright.
Hi, Bella. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Carrie. How about yourself?
I'm well, thanks.
Now, Carrie, we've had some interesting fun facts today. I don't know if you can top Donald Duck getting into a fight at Disney, but maybe, Carrie, what is your fun fact for today?
I don't know that I can top Donald Duck getting into a fight. I've been thinking about it. I think my fun fact is that I am an avid gardener, as my partners know. And I'm such an avid gardener that in the height of the after COVID, when the houses were ridiculously expensive in New Jersey, I packed up my family and moved to a new house so I could have a bigger backyard, specifically to have a bigger vegetable garden, which I do. And I grow every vegetable, even the ones I don't want to eat. I love my vegetable garden. So that's
Carrie loves her vegetable garden. She even grows vegetables she doesn't even like to eat. Hopefully somebody is eating your vegetables if you are growing them. But Carrie, if I live closer, I would probably definitely eat some of your vegetables for sure. So thank you for contributing to the Garden State with your vegetable garden. And are you ready to have some fun today?
I am, very much.
All right. Next up, the woman who brought us all here together today, hailing from Nutley, New Jersey, the deal attorney, having led over 200 capital market transactions in the past 25 years, taking companies public in the 7 different ways to do so. 2 years out of law school, built a $1 million solo practice from her basement as a single mom with 2 young daughters. Proudly serving for over a decade on the board of National Investment and Banking Association, helping companies get connected to thousands of members and funding sources, executive producer of The Heart of Influence, general counsel and chief ecosystem officer at Caligari Law. Let's welcome to the show our producer, Andrea. Hello, Andrea. And which of your Rolodex of fun facts are you going to share with us today?
Well, I was so tempted to go with my sunken cruise ship fun fact, after hearing about Donald Duck, but because I was inspired by Deirdre and her reading. When I was 9.5 years old, and my mother can vouch for this, I read Gone with the Wind, which is a very long book. I was just an avid reader. So that's my fun fact for today.
That is a super fun fact. Gone with the Wind is present at 9 years old. That is definitely impressive.
9.5. 9.5. Mother will vouch.
Yeah, you gotta have that half. Are you ready to have some fun?
You bet.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I will go ahead and introduce myself. I started selling crafts on my front lawn as an 8-year-old. I had a really incredible business model because my parents would take me to Michael's, buy me all my crafts, and then I would sell my crafts on the front lawn and get to keep all the profit. Some of the attorneys here today might arrest me or have me arrested for doing business that way today. Doesn't really work that way. But it went from there into network marketing at 18 years old. By the time I was 19 years old, I was a top income earner in that company, transferred those skills into commercial real estate, where I was the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada for 3 consecutive years, the youngest woman ever and the first woman ever to do so. Later in 2019, became a sales trainer, doubled the sales of every company that I worked with. And now I play the role of the co-host of The Heart of Influence, where I have co-hosted more than 1,700 episodes with more than 8,000 guests. That is me, Bella Verita, your co-host for today. And my fun fact actually is I reside in Denver, Colorado, and you can ski in Denver until June. And I learned to surf, ski, and scuba dive from a blind man. And I went skiing this weekend and I burnt my face and it itches so bad. And all I want to do is just scratch my face right now. And I'm holding out and not doing it. So that is my fun fact. But if you start seeing me kind of like act like a cat, that you'll know why. But that is my fun fact for today. And Andrea, shall we do the things? Oh, thank you, Danny. And Andrea, shall we do the things?
Let's do the things, Bella.
Let's do the things. So we've made some introductions. We've had a little bit of fun. But as I said earlier, Plato said, play a game with me for an hour and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a year. And so we get to play a little game because every business is built on the ability to cause yes. So Deidre, Paul, Andrea's going to be in the role player. Andrea will be anyone that you want her to be. You'll have 3 minutes to go from hello to yes. This isn't like Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room. This simply could be a yes for a longer meaning. And at the end of that 3 minutes, Andrea will politely say, I gotta go. And we'll conclude that. And then we'll get to the judges in just a moment. And so, Andrea, who is going first?
I am going to say Paul is going to go first.
Paul, I knew that was coming because it was a little unfair if Deidre went first because she's already been here. So, Paul, who would you like Andrea to be?
Let's make Andrea a very confident, slightly ornery, older woman who has been referred to me by one of her buddies, and she knows I'm an investment advisor. And she's kind of questioning whether or not she wants to retain somebody or continue to do her own thing.
All right, I'm up
I
for
like
it.
this, Paul. So, Paul, this is definitely going to be a stretch for Andrea to play any role that's ornery because she is so far the antithesis of ornery. But
I don't think so.
Andrea, do you think you can play the role of an tongue twister, an older woman?
Watch me.
All right, she said, watch me. All right, take us in.
Hello, it's Andrea.
Andrea, this is Paul speaking. I'm sure you know who I am because my name obviously comes up on your phone, right?
You know, yeah, and Linda did mention you'd be calling, but I only have a few minutes. I got to run to a meeting.
Got it. So, knowing that you know what I do, I think you have a handle on it. And you know that somebody who you have trust and confidence in, Valerie, referred us to meet. What was it about having a brief conversation today motivated you to want to take the call?
Wow, that's actually a good question. You know, look, doing very well, relatively recently divorced, and you know, I was curious because I want to make sure that I do the right things. But I got to tell you, I'm doing okay. I think I know what I'm doing. Valerie did say it was worth my while to give you a few minutes, and I got to be honest, I read up a little bit about you, and you seem kind of accomplished. So
Got it.
That's why.
Appreciate that. Knowing that you know what I do, I also take it for granted that you've probably had relationships with other advisors over the years. More than likely, you may have one right now. Maybe you're happy, maybe you're not happy. Many times, people aren't aware of what some of the issues are in their overall financial circumstances unless they meet somebody who can do a bit of a deep dive. So if you said to me, Paul, what is that you bring to the table? Have you ever heard of some entity called a family office? Yes? Okay. So a family office is going to do investment analysis, insurance analysis, tax planning.
Oh, you mean it's not like a family that has an office?
It's a organization that has a finite number of clients to do all these things for them. And generally, to get a family office to want to work with you, you have to have at least $1 billion of assets. So my company does all the things that a family office will do, except we don't have a $1 billion office. So if you're looking for somebody who can be your co-pilot in assisting you, no matter what happens, if you live too long, die too soon, or get sick along the way, those are the areas we will explore.
Well,
Does that
that's,
sound sensible?
yeah, you know what? That does, I gotta admit, that sounds sensible. So why don't we set up another meeting where we could talk a little more in depth? And thanks. And I'm gonna thank Valerie for setting this up.
Love to do that. Thanks for your time. I will be reaching out.
I told y'all Andrea doesn't do Henri very well.
Fine.
Andrea, I don't know how Henri that was, but really great job. And Paul, absolutely phenomenal job. I feel like you might have been listening in on some unblinded training. Absolutely phenomenal. We'll get to the feedbackers in just a moment. But let's go, Deidre. Deidre, who would you like Andrea to be?
So Andrea, today you are going to be a second generation family business owner and you're tired. Okay. It's been a lot. You've got, let's say 70 employees. You have 3 different pieces of real estate. You've got your siblings who are quote unquote working in the business. And you're really just trying to figure out what your next steps are because continuing to work in the business for the next 20 years is not what your game plan is. And you were referred over to me by your accountant.
Let's go. Andrea, take us in.
Hello, this is Andrea.
Hey, Andrea, my name's Deirdre Wheatley-Liss. Your accountant, Sally, had given you my name and thought that we might be able to chat with each other and I might be able to help a bit.
Yeah, I remember. Thank you.
Excellent. Could you tell me about your business? What do you do?
I tell you, I'm pulling my hair out. This is really the second generation of this family summer rental business in Stone Harbor. We've got now 9 properties. For years we had 4, doing well. Lots of cousins now are in the business, and I'm always putting out fires. I'm not doing what I love anymore. All I'm doing is solving drama, and I'm exhausted. Thank you for asking, but I've pretty much had it.
Andrea, what do you love? What do you love to do?
Ooh. Well, what I really miss, believe it or not, is the initial meeting with someone who's looking for a memory. They're looking to create memories. And part 2 of that is I love staging. I absolutely love going into a place that we just spent a bit of money on and making it fun for families, like putting special things in cabinets for the kids and everything in a perfectly appointed kitchen because I love to cook myself. I want families to feel like this is their amazing home times 10 so they could have that experience. And I haven't done that in 8 years now.
Oh my God.
I'm doing the things that I don't like. I'm constantly in front of a screen. So
yeah, now, I can understand that. Yeah. So one of the things that we see with family businesses, and it's very common, is you were very capable of doing a lot of things, and now everything sort of showed up on your plate, right? So is the idea here that the business is going to continue to your kids' generation, or is this something that maybe you'd like to exit and just spend your time, doing your own acquiring and staging and flipping? What are you thinking about?
That would be way more fun and up my alley, but I just didn't even think about extricating myself from this because I feel everyone's kind of depending on me now as the matriarch. But you've planted an interesting seed, Deirdre. I don't know how I could make everybody comfortable with that, but it's an interesting subject that you've raised.
So Sandra, here's what we do. We help business owners and families create legacies that actually last so that people continue to get together around the Thanksgiving table, right?
I bet you're about to say some really great stuff and we're just about, I have to run to this meeting, but can we please continue this conversation because I want to speak with you more. And I think
absolutely.
Friday after 3 p.m., if I could set up a meeting maybe with your assistant, I think his name is Tom, that would work for me. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Great job, Andrea. Great job, Deidre. And now we get to the feedbackers. Feedbackers, otherwise known as judges. Judges, this is the time in the show that you get to give back in the form of feedback. So it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Deirdre or Paul, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve, and then a little scoring system. that scoring system is like, what is that next step? Is that next step you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer conversation? I don't think anybody's going to need a root canal today. Paul and Deidre were fantastic. So maybe that next step is like a little mocha chocolate and a little croissante from Starbucks for a longer meeting. But if that's not enough time, then how about like a steak dinner at the Capitol Grill, getting a nice seafood tower and a nice juicy steak to have a long meeting. But if that's not enough time and you want more of Deidre and Paul, then maybe that next step is you're renting a private jet, flying anywhere in the world to have the longest meeting with Deidre and Paul. So let's kick it off with Carmen. And while we're doing feedback, Andrea, I just want to make sure you saw my note in the chat. But let's kick it off with Carmen. And Carmen, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Deirdre?
Well, that's not fair. She's my partner.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll go Paul. Wait, Dan, are you partners with Deidre? Let me do this. Deidre, who all do you have here?
So that would be Dan and Carmen and Carrie were kind enough to join me today. So maybe they should give some feedback to Paul.
Okay, got it.
Lovely feedback. They can give it to me.
Perfect. I got them all organized now. So I think we got this. So let's go. Carmen, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Paul?
Sure. So, yeah, I thought Paul's pitch, if you will, was good. I might have added a little more sort of detail. Paul did say a couple of times, well, you know what I do, or something to that effect. So I'd love to hear a little bit more of Paul during that pitch exchange. But other than that, I think, I'm intrigued and I would go out for a biscotti and a latte.
A biscotti and a latte. Now, Carmen, are you like a plain latte girl? Or are you like a vanilla latte, a mocha latte, a caramel latte? Or are you just like plain old latte?
No, I'm a caramel latte girl.
Caramel latte and a biscotti coming right up. Thank you, Carmen. And let's go, Juliana. Juliana, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Deidre?
I thought it was really good. She was warm. She was asking about my concerns, and I would definitely want more time with her to understand what she could do for me.
Beautiful. And so what would that next step? Are we having lattes and biscotti? Are we having seafood towers and steak? Are we getting on a plane?
I'll have a seafood tower.
We're doing the seafood tower. Juliana definitely wants some time with Deidre. That is some awesome feedback. And let's go, Dan. Dan, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Paul, please?
Sure. So I thought Paul's ending was fantastic. He made a point of asking, can we get together again? And when can that be? I think a lot of times people forget to just make that simple request and say, hey, can we have another phone call? Can we talk again about this? Because he knew she was short on time. And he used as much of the time as he could. And at the very end, he's like, let's talk again. It's kind of an invite to see him again in the future.
Well, thank you for that, Dan. And Dan, what is the next steps with Paul?
I don't know. I think I'd go a seafood tower. I think he looks more like pretzels and hot dogs and that kind of stuff, more savory style.
Pretzels and hot dogs, more than coffee. Not ready for the seafood tower and steak yet, but we got pretzels and hot dogs. Those happen to be two of Sean's favorite things. He would join you for pretzels and hot dogs for sure, Dan. But thank you for that. And let's go, Carrie. Randy. Randy, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Deidre?
I like the fact that she asks questions. I feel like a lot of times when we're pitching, we get caught up in what we want to offer or give, but it's a lot easier when we kind of can get the other side talking so we can fill in the gaps with our services and opportunities. So I think she did a great job of prompting Andrea, the customer, to speak so she can, kind of reply in that regard.
We got some sophisticated feedbackers here today. And so, Randy, what would be your next step with Deidre?
I mean, I can never turn down a good steak as the bigger guy. So however it's coming from, as long as it's medium, we're good.
Medium steak coming up. Randy would not like hanging out with my father. My father gets his steaks well done. Well done. And we're from Texas. It should be against the law. It's practically beef jerky. How
He needs to be a visitor on the Heart of Influence so we can get that heart fixed over there.
I'm telling you what. I'm telling you what. Great job, Randy. And let's go, Carrie. Carrie, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Paul?
I thought Paul did a very good job. I particularly liked his opening. So he set up Andrea to be an ornery person, and she started off the call with like, I only have 2 minutes, which is the like quintessential brush off. Don't talk to me for too long. I'm not invested in this call. And I thought his opening of, well, something intrigued you to even pick up the phone because she could have just ignored it. So I really liked that. I thought that was a good intro, and it allowed her right away to say, this is kind of what I'm looking for, cut to the chase. So I thought it was good.
Beautiful. Great feedback, Carrie. And Carrie, what is that next step with Paul, please?
I'm thinking it's going to be coffee at a place where maybe we can listen to some tunes at the same time, since I know that Paul's fun fact is he used to be in a band. So maybe it's coffee and some tunes so we can talk a little bit more.
Coffee and some tunes. I like it. That sounds like a good time. And maybe, Paul, you'll even get some vegetables out of the deal. But great job, Carrie. And let's go, Andrea. Andrea, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Deidre, please?
Deidre, you just did such a phenomenal job opening up my listening and enabling me to really look deeply into what it was that I loved in my character. Like what was it that I really wanted to be doing? And that's a question a lot of people don't ask. So beautiful question mastery. And your opening also made me feel safe. And the fact that we ran out of time before you could really deliver your value is because you were being so curious and got to know what my needs were before presenting your own identity. But because I knew from the introduction that it was fabulous, we put it off for the next meeting. So I would absolutely not only have a seafood tower with you, because that's one of my favorite things. I would do one better, Bella. I would rent a private jet and take Deidre and maybe the rest of you for a long period of time to go to Fiji, perhaps, where we could talk at length about my next chapter.
Oh, I love it. Andrea getting on a private jet with the seafood tower with Deidre. I love it. Thank you, Andrea. And Andrea, you know what time it is. This is usually the time in the show that I get to put my co-host on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about. But I will say, when he calls and says like he's got some dynamic, and today he had some travel issues because there's all kinds of travel issues going on there in Newark. So he's running into some of those and couldn't make it. And I get really kind of I'll go Donald Duckish. I get a little Donald Duckish when he says he's not gonna be here, because then I get put on the hot seat. So Andrea, what do you got for me today that you want to see me go from hello to yes?
So you got me dancing because Donald Duck is in my very first potential scenario. So
okay, we won't do options today, so you get to choose.
Okay, all right, here it is. We got one option today. You are going to be playing the role of the woman who played Daffy Duck on that cruise ship.
Okay.
And your hello to yes is with Bob Iger, who is the CEO presently of Disney. And you're going to try to get to a yes to not only reinstate the cruises for Disney, but to have a reunion between you and the person who you were having that fight with, so that you could just resolve that issue that's been bothering you for years. And I think,
Andrea, you are not nice. You're supposed to be nice to me. We're supposed to like give Sean all the hard scenarios, and you're supposed to be nice to me when he's not here. I see how this goes, but yes, who do you want to play the role of, what's his name? Bob, what's the last name?
Iger.
Bob Iger.
CEO of Walt Disney. All right, I'm torn between Dan and Randy. By a show of hands, who wants Dan to play Walt Disney?
Randy, I don't think you get to vote on that.
I had to love that he raised his hand. So Dan, are you up for playing Walt Disney?
Sure.
Oh,
Why
no,
not?
no, no. You're up for
Whoa,
playing
wait a
Bob
second.
Iger.
Walt is a frozen head right now. I don't want to be Walt Disney.
Play Bob.
Play
Okay.
Bob. All right. All right. And it's Iger, you said, right, Andrea?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Iger. This is Bella Verita. We had a 3-minute meeting scheduled for today. Do you remember?
I do, Bella. So what do you want to talk about today?
Well, Mr. Iger, first of all, thank you for even taking this meeting with me today after what I did on the last cruise ship, acting irrational, letting my emotions get the best of me, and causing a scene that very well could have stopped the Disney breakfast cruise altogether. And so thank you for even taking the meeting with me in the first place. I really appreciate it.
Sure, Bella. I mean, just remember there were some traumatized families on that cruise, and I'm sure 20 years later they're still thinking about it.
I am sure that they are, and I feel devastated that I had anything to do with causing any sort of trauma to children. And I've been in therapy for the last little bit on how to handle my emotions better. And Mr. Iger, I'm just curious, after everything that I've done, all the trauma that I've caused, what made you even say yes to having a meeting with me in the first place?
Well, it is Disney. It's the happiest place on earth. We believe in second chances.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Iger, and giving me a second chance is definitely would go way out of the boundaries, but definitely speaks to the mission and vision that Walt Disney set when he created Disney and wanting to bring the magic back. And what I want to share is, as I mentioned, I did go to therapy, the other character, the waiter that we had the altercation, we might have had a romantic relationship, and I found out some things that did not make me happy, and I did not act in a way that would be in alignment with Disney's mission, vision, and purpose. And so, first of all, I hope you'll accept my apology. I hope you'll accept everything that I've done. And Mr. Iger, is there anywhere that we could have a conversation on, maybe how I could the families that did experience trauma, how maybe we could bring them back for a cruise, show them a makeup scene, show them because the fact of the matter is, in life, right, like, people argue, and would you be open to the idea of possibly having a reunion cruise that brought back these families, that showed them how healthy conflict resolution happens today, and then maybe we could reinstate those cruises? Is that something that we could even have a conversation about?
I think that we can. I'd be interested to hear what your former paramour, whomever he was, what he has to say about this. But I think we'd be open to restarting this.
Well, he is definitely, we have, made amends, and he also apologized for the things that he did that caused that scene. And he is very willing to have a reunion crew with me to bring back all of the families. Maybe we can even raise some money to bring those families back, to show them what healthy conflict resolution looks like, and give all those people that were on that cruise that day an experience they'll never forget. The magic that Walt Disney and Disneyland stands for. How does that resonate with you or not?
I like it. I think we can do it.
All right, let's do it. Whew. We're having a reunion crew. I like this plan. I think the next time I get into a fight with Sean, I'll just dress up as Donald Duck instead, and we'll have some more fun with it. But really great scenario, Andrea. Great job, Dan. And Dan, how was that for you?
Oh, it was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how was your overall experience today on the Heart of Influence?
Overall today, this was a great experience.
Awesome. Well, Dan, thank you for being here. And let's go, Carrie. Carrie, thank you for being here. Fun fact, in moving during the COVID so you could have a bigger garden. Great job in the feedback seat. And Carrie, how was your time with us today on the Heart of Influence?
It was everything Deirdre told me it would be. We'd have a little fun and get to know some people. So thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. And yes, we'll talk about continuing these relationships. Let's go, Randy. Randy, saved by the hands, didn't have to play Mr. Iger in the Walt Disney scenario. But Randy, how was your time today on The Heart of Influence?
Pretty cool show. Andrew did a great job of describing it. I think the scenarios are pretty helpful because most of the time we get live action shots. So I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunities.
Awesome. Fantastic job. Randy, and let's go, Juliana. Juliana, thank you for being here. Home run champ. And how was your time today on The Heart of Influence? And did we hit a home run today?
It was nice. I didn't know what to expect. My friend invited me and didn't tell me much about it, just that she thought I would think it would be interesting. And so I'm interested in knowing more about what the program is.
Beautiful. We'll definitely have ways for doing that. And Juliana, thank you for being here and trusting your friend and being here. Super brave. Definitely more to do. Thank you for being here. Let's go, Carmen. Carmen. Great job in the judge's seat, kicking us off. Not always easy. And Carmen, how was your time with us today on The Heart of Influence?
It was great. I absolutely did not really know what to expect, and it was a lot of fun. You know, definitely outside of my normal box. So thank you for making my Monday a little bit more exciting.
Making your Monday exciting. That's what we do around here, Carmen. Thank you so much for being here. And then let's go, Paul, who kicked us off in the participant seat, the hardest role. Absolutely masterful job. I am not confused that you are a master. And Paul, how was your time today on The Heart of Influence?
So I'm going to give you 3 E's.
3
Bella?
E's. Okay, I'm ready.
3 E's.
Okay.
And this is a byproduct of Bella and Andrea.
Okay.
So I feel from today's experience energized. E. I feel effervescent vibe coming through this panel. And maybe there's a magic elixir in this universe of Heart of Influence. Outside of that, stunk. Just kidding. All good.
My favorite, I love the triple E's, effervescent, elixir, and the middle one was
energized.
Energized. My favorite piece of feedback ever, Paul. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing your expertise, your wisdom, and your humor to The Heart of Influence. Wouldn't have been the same without you. Thank you, Paul. And let's go, Deidre. Deidre, great job and co-creating The Heart of Influence today. Absolutely masterful job in the participant seat and your final on your co-creation for the day.
So first, I want to thank, my colleagues, Carrie, Carmen, and Dan for joining. Carmen, thank you so much for saying it was a little fun and thinking outside of the box. And I really just appreciate the opportunity that you put us a bit on the hot seat. And it's, so busy, we're so busy with the forest, the trees, and everything else that's going on. But to really focus on the why and why it is that we really love connecting with people, had an opportunity to do that for 3 minutes today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Deidre. Absolutely masterful job. Thank you to your cohorts for trusting you and being here today. And Andrea, your final on your co-creation for the day.
Well, thank you, Bella, and you are phenomenal in every respect. My final is all business is built on relationships. And I don't think anyone in this room would disagree with that. And where do these relationships begin? If you think about it, and Sean Callaghy thought about this during COVID, it's with a shared experience. It's breaking bread. It's going to an event together. It's doing a lot of things that ordinarily require us to be together in person. And the birth of this incredible platform was the result of how can we, in the most efficient manner possible, create a deliberate shared experience where people are carefully curated to meet one another in an environment that's fun and memorable and has a game, like Plato said, play a game with me for an hour. We'll learn more about each other than if we spoke for a year. That Plato was a smart guy, wasn't he? So here we are. And as is Sean Callagy, this is really the product of that. And Bella has easily been on 1,500 of the 1,700 episodes with Sean Callagy.
No,
and-
1,700 episodes is how many I've personally done.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow. Sorry about that. I stand corrected. It's really a value that I'm delighted to have had the opportunity to share. And I want to thank all of you for bringing your A game to the show and getting something out of it. And one final thing, we encourage the connection. So we're going to provide all of you with detailed contact information and bios. Some of you know each other, others you don't know. Get to know, connect. You're going to be thinking of things you can do together. And there's so much more here that we're willing to and interested in providing you with by way of gifts. So over to you, Bella. I'm sure you have some more things to discuss.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Andrea. And she hit the nail on the head. We definitely had some fun. And this is a forum that was created by Sean for everybody to come and connect and have a little bit of fun. So Andrea will make sure that you have each other's information. But someone said, you know, I want to do more. And at the end of every show, we offer a few gifts. You'll see those in the chat. These are not throwaway gifts. These are gifts for if you are looking to enhance your business, money, time, magic, you don't have everything yet that you want, is one is we have a business acceleration session. This is not something that you'll be sold anything on. It really truly is how do you implement the formula into your business to optimize, and we have the tools that we have in AI these days is absolutely incredible when it comes to extraordinary when it comes to your influence, and you get that as a gift after your business acceleration session. We have a couple of books for you in that, so you can definitely click those links as well. And you're here because you want more. You want to meet people because you want more. There's something that you're looking to grow. And so have that business acceleration so you can uncover if there's something that we could do together or not. May work for you, it may not. So definitely have that. And we like to thank everybody for being here. And at the end of every show, we always say, although Sean may be physically blind, sometimes we're all blind to the opportunities right in front of us and just learning to see. Thank you all for being here today. Connect with each other, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in the future. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.